Nigerian Air Force conducts airstrikes on ISWAP hideouts in the northeast. Borno Emergency Agency clarifies death toll in a bridge explosion. And world leaders condemn Iran attack on U.S. military base. Thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Anetta Felix. The Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has destroyed some facilities belonging to the Islamic State of West Africa Province, ISWAP, at Kusuma on the fringes of the Lake Chad. Spokesperson for the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, announced this in a statement released on Wednesday. Daramola says the attack followed intelligence reports that a cluster of compounds within the settlement was being used to house some ISWAP leaders along with their supplies. After confirmatory intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance, the Air Force deployed its attack aircraft to engage the location, leading to the destruction of the designated structures. Daramola maintained that the force will sustain its air campaign in concert with ground troops towards the effective conduct of further joint operations against insurgents. Still on security, the Borno State Emergency Management Agency has dismissed reports that about 30 persons had died in an explosion on a crowded bridge at Gamburungala, a border town with Cameroon. Yabawa Kodo, state chairperson of the agency, in a statement released on Wednesday, said only 9 persons were killed in the Monday attack, while 26 others sustained various degrees of burns. Kodo also rejected reports that the explosion was a suicide attack by the Boko Haram insurgents. He said the explosion was an accident and a detonation of a grenade by children who had been playing with the explosive device. A total of 10,114 officers have so far been promoted between January 2019, when the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, resumed office, till now. This was made known on Wednesday at the decoration of another 40 Deputy Commissioners of Police to the rank of Commissioner of Police at the Force Headquarters in Abuja. Tunjioyi now reports.
With smiles in the presence of families, friends, and colleagues, 40 Deputy Commissioner of Police are here to be rewarded for their outstanding performance, bravery, and exemplary hard work in the discharge of their duties. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, said the officers got their promotion based on merit, seniority, and outstanding performance, which are the basic indices to be promoted in the new dispensation.
Beyond the change in professional status, this event represents a due recognition of the history of professional excellence of the 40 Deputy Commissioners of Police being decorated today. Their promotion, like other previous exercises, were guided by the principles of seniority and merit. It's also a reflective of their records of discipline and invaluable experiences.
As it popularly said, the reward for hard work is more work. This is the message of the police boss to the new commissioners of police. He charged them to justify their new rank as their quality will be tested.
Let me, however, remind the promotees that to whom much is given, much is expected. Crime, as you know, is a dynamic and increasingly complex phenomenon, and the nation demands of your high level of loyalty, courage, and professional competence needed to move the Nigerian police and indeed the nation to the next level in relation to internal security. In furtherance to this, some of you shall be deployed to critical duty posts where your strength of character and professionalism shall be optimally tested. In the discharge of your duties, which can sometimes be challenging, you should deploy your intellect, be civil to the citizen, and be guided by the need to respect extant laws. In addition, you must demonstrate sound professional judgment in all your decisions, knowing that you could be called to account for your actions or inactions. I trust that you shall not fail the Nigeria police, neither will you fail the nation in the onerous responsibilities that your new rank shall impose on you.
The Inspector General of Police promised Nigerians that the rejuvenated police force will discharge its constitutional duties effectively and combat crime in every part of the country. From Abuja, Sujioye, TV360 News.
Away from security now, the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has advised Nigerians not to worry about who would succeed the president. Instead, he said the task of nation building and moving the country forward should take priority over the search for a successor for President Muhammadu Buhari. Buhari ahead of the 2023 general elections. Tinubu made the remarks while briefing State House correspondents on Tuesday, shortly after a meeting at the presidential villa in Abuja.
The president is busy sorting out the budget and working for the people of this country. Yes, restlessness of politics is going to be there, but any lover of this country will not talk about the succession plan yet. That's the truth. Concentrate on working for the country, help the country, help the president to help the country. It's not anything more than that. We cannot, 360 degree, 365 times in a year work on politics. It is not possible. Anybody talking about that now, just complete restlessness, and they are not focused on the agenda of the nation building and development.
The Supreme Court has affirmed the election of Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa in a unanimous judgment delivered on Wednesday by Justice Sentus Nweze. The court held that the appellant, Great Ogburu, failed to prove allegations of overvoting. In the same vein, the Supreme Court also affirmed the election of Governor Okezie Ikpeazu in a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice Paul Galoje. The court hinged its decision on the fact that the appellants did not establish its claims of overvoting. The Apex Court also affirmed the election of Governor Darasi Shaku as Governor of Taraba State. In a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice Ejembi Eko, the court held that the counsel to the APC admitted that the party had no candidate in the election and therefore had no local standing to contest the election of the governor. Now, still on political matters, Justice Ahmed Mohammed of the Federal High Court in Abuja has temporarily restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) from conducting by-elections to fill 14 vacant seats in the Edo State House of Assembly. The Edo Assembly had declared 14 seats vacant and were to hold by-elections to replace them, but the 14 lawmakers filed a suit seeking an order of interim injunction to restrain INEC from conducting by-elections in respect of their seats. The order is to temporarily remain binding until January 28, 2020. At Tuesday's proceedings, Justice Mohammed directed that since INEC did not oppose the plaintiff's application, they should not take further steps in respect of the elections. In the past month, there has been a political battle between members of the Edo State House of Assembly, backed by Governor Godwin Obaseki, and the factional 14 members believed to be loyal to the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshiomhole. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it will reopen the investigation of Peter Odili, former governor of Rivers State. In 2007, a court had issued an order restraining the anti-graft agency from probing the finances of the Rivers State government and preventing the EFCC from investigating or arresting Odili. But speaking to newsmen in Port Harcourt on Tuesday, acting chairman of the EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, said he would investigate allegations of money laundering against the former governor. Magu said the commission has appealed the injunction, but that the appeal is still pending at the Supreme Court. He added that subsequent judgments of the court have held that the EFCC cannot be restrained from investigating anyone. Magu also described Rivers as having the second highest number of money laundering cases in Nigeria after Lagos. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) have begun searching the Abuja residence of former Senator Shehu Sani. EFCC officials arrived Sani's residence located in Wuse 2, Abuja, around 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday. The former federal lawmaker was first arrested on December 31st for using the names of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN Justice Tanko Mohammed, and some other judges and EFCC acting chairman Ibrahim Magu to obtain funds from businessman Sani Dauda, owner of ASD Motors. He had allegedly received the funds from Dauda with promises of influencing the outcome of some court cases involving the auto dealer. The EFCC has a court order to detain Sani for 14 days while it investigates the allegations against him. And in a medical victory for Nigeria, after a 12-hour surgery, 78 medical personnel have successfully separated a conjoined set of twins at the National Hospital in Abuja. Leader of the team that performed the surgery, Emmanuel Ame, said they admitted the conjoined twins on August 14, 2018 and had to monitor them for 15 months before the separation was performed on November 14, 2019. The twins were conjoined at the lower tummy and they also shared the lower half of the chest, and there was only one liver serving the two of them. They were successfully separated by an interdisciplinary team including pediatric surgeons, cardiac surgeons, plastic surgeons, nurses, imaging experts, dermatologists, and other experts from various medical disciplines. Announcing the news on Wednesday, Minister of Health Osage Ehanire said the feat was an indication that Nigerian hospitals were ready to compete with the best in the world. Nigeria is home to the highest number of out-of-school children in the world, with over 13.2 million kids lacking basic formal education. A weak economy and high cost of living has often been blamed for these grim statistics, but one group is taking decisive steps towards changing this narrative. This next report has details.
It's about 7:30 a.m. in the morning, and Oluwakbo Peters is out for school runs. Her 3 kids are among the over 300 children enrolled in Comenius Primary School, the only tuition-free elementary school in Ikola, a community in Alimosho local government area of Lagos. Before this school was established in 2015, Oluwakbo's children and hundreds of others were unable to afford basic education, but today they have a shot at a brighter future.
Their training is very okay because I can now boastfully tell people about my children and their school. They now have a bright future because I didn't ever imagine that they'll be able to read at all. But now they can read and speak very well. Even when their mates communicate with them in English, they respond very well. In fact, I'm very sure that they have a bright future.
Well, as about the school fees, they see nothing like school fees. In the first instance, people thought that they are playing. But it will come reality that everything is normal. The school is very good. So their system of operating are very good.
This graduate of computer science is the brain behind Comenius Primary School. At the initial stage of her journey, which began in 2009, she sought donation from friends and well-wishers to sponsor the education of kids from low-income homes. She soon decided to start up a school when the number of children in need increased.
In 2015, we had a long list of awaiting children that we couldn't get enough sponsors to help them back to school. So we just felt instead of waiting until we get sponsors for those children, why not set up a school? What we did, we had to erect the structure. We got friends and some organization partner with us to erect the school. And we got started. It's been more than 4 years of running this school now, tuition-free school, and we already have 4 sets of students that have moved from primary school to secondary school.
When Tosin found out that most of the children could also not afford lunch, she decided to introduce the school feeding program.
We have this big challenge of children coming to school without food. They come without money, and how do they learn? So this, we had to rally around, and we got a few friends and sponsors that helped us, and we been able to help them with the meal. Because one thing we realized was that when the food was there, there's this enthusiasm to learning, there's the enthusiasm to come to school.
While funding remains a challenge, the Street to School initiative aims to provide advanced learning opportunities to more children.
We hope to get a bigger structure where we can serve more children, and we're also hoping that we can have secondary school so that those who are leaving primary school will have a place to continue learning and not drop out from primary school. So that is one thing we're projecting. We're also looking at more partnership with corporate organizations.
Although Street to School primarily operates on the primary school level, it also assists students in the secondary and post-secondary level with free learning kits and registration for national examinations. Including other sponsored children enrolled in schools across distant communities, the beneficiaries number up to thousands. Fidelia Aguncha, TV360, Lagos.
About 19 million Nigerians live with disability, and while many can be seen on the streets begging for alms, 35-year-old Augustine Obaka has dared to be different. He learned how to weave bags and is now driving down Nigeria's unemployment figures by empowering others with weaving skills despite his disability. This next report has more. With speed and skill, Augustine Obaka weaves ropes into bags, belts, and more. He also teaches 6 other apprentices how to walk ropes into fashion items. Augustine does all these so creatively and precisely that it's almost hard to believe he's blind. He might have lost his sight, but no oversight by apprentices can escape his touch.
There is an error here. Are you surprised? Even though I cannot see, I can easily notice an error. That's I always tell you. Anytime you notice an error, call my attention. It's better you lose it when you are not far, because I must surely see it.
Augustine wasn't born blind. He developed an eye defect as a teenager, and it deteriorated into blindness when he couldn't get access to medical care. As he matured into adulthood, he got tired of receiving alms from well-wishers, so he began to find ways of fending for himself.
Luckily for me, the state sent about 3 students to the school. So I attended Nigerian Fine Craft Center for the Blind, Ikeja, Lagos. That was 2006. And I graduated, I perfected in this craft work as a skill.
Augustine was sponsored to the craft school by the Delta State Ministry of Women Affairs, and he's now giving back to his community by training hundreds of Nigerian youth to design trendy fashion items.
Some core members, I'll meet them where they're assignment. They say, I want to buy this bag. I say, you are a young lady or you are a young man. What's the only help I can give to you? Never forget me is that I want to train you. That money that you want to use and buy, come and I will buy rope, I will teach. And I thank God, I'm pretending. If I see a young graduate that's looking for how to make a sleeve, I will encourage him or her to learn this skill.
He has won several awards, including the award for the Best Exhibitor of the Year 2010 at the Africa Arts and Crafts Expo, and an award for the Best Designer at the Africa International Expo. But he says he would rather be supported with cash to fund his business than receive plaques. His desire is to expand his business and train more youths in the country to prove that there's indeed ability in this ability. Aneta Felix, TV360, Nigeria. You're still watching news now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll be right back with more after this.
Corruption not in my country. That was a very good business.
Yeah.
The furniture you brought was very perfect.
That's how we roll.
Because then let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
But it is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
You will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make una only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
You're welcome back. Joining us now for Business Stories is Fidelia Agunja.
Thank you very much, Annetta. The Lagos state government says it plans to increase its monthly internally generated revenue to fund the 2020 budget. The Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Sam Egube, said this on Tuesday while giving a breakdown of the state's budget. He disclosed that a total budget size of 1.17 trillion naira would be funded from a total revenue estimate of 1.07 trillion naira. Egube said a significant percentage of the projected TIGR of 500 billion naira would be contributed by the Lagos Inland Revenue Service through expansion of TaxNet. In 2019, the state projected a total revenue of 775.23 billion naira, out of which 606.29 billion was expected from internal generation, 168.94 billion from federal transfers, and 77.09 billion from deficit financing. A federal high court sitting in Lagos has ordered electricity distribution companies DISCOs not to hike electricity tariffs pending the determination of a motion challenging the move. The Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission had in December 2019 directed DISCOs to raise their rates by over 70% to enable them have enough capital to pay for electricity distributed by them. But at a hearing of a suit by the Incorporated Trustees of Human Rights Foundation against 15 respondents in the electricity industry, Justice Muslim Hassan ordered the parties to maintain status quo. We'll look at activities on the stock market after this break. Don't go away. Well, trading closed very positive today at the Nigeria Stock Exchange as the market recorded its biggest gain yet for the year 2020, with the market capitalization closing at 13.78 trillion naira. Investors made well over 450 billion naira, while key market indices closed 3.54% higher. Now that's very massive. Now, renewed interest in the market's biggest equity right here, which is Dangote Cement, is why the market is actually closing this way. But a host of other equities also closed with gains, and that's Presco sitting second on the gainers chart, Okomo Oil on the third spot, and Stanbic IBTC taking the fourth spot on the table. Well, to the losers chart, we have Total, Unilever PLC, and UPD Credit, as well as UAC Properties, leading the chart of losers. Let's now see the market summary. Over 741 million equities were transacted on the floor of the market today. Now that's about the same number we saw yesterday, but the value is coming in at 9.2 billion naira, which is about double of what we saw on the market yesterday. Now this all exchange hands in 7,622 deals, which is the highest number of deals recorded since the year started. Outside Nigeria now to the foreign scene, let's see how the markets there are faring. FTSE and Nikkei are dropping, while the Dow seem to be rising despite Iran airstrike on U.S. base in Iraq. Well, we hope for better days tomorrow. And that's it from the world of business. It's back to Annetta Felix.
Thanks for that update, Fidelia. Now, still on the Iraq and U.S. sanctions, the president of Iraq, Barham Saleh, has condemned the missile strikes on Iraqi bases housing U.S. military and coalition forces, saying he feared dangerous developments in the region. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, had backed the move, saying it was a slap in the face for the U.S. in apparent retaliation for the killing of Qasem Soleimani. At a press briefing in the White House, United States President Donald Trump contested Iran's earlier claims that 80 American military personnel were killed in the attack. Trump said the U.S. suffered no casualties and its bases suffered minimal damages. He added that Iran appears to be standing down, which is a good thing for all parties concerned. The U.S. president further said Iran will never be allowed to have nuclear weapons, promising harsher sanctions unless the Tehran government changes its behavior. And in sports, management of Enugu Rangers have sent some of its players to the B team for the club in a bid to stop the unimpressive run in the ongoing Nigeria Professional Football League season. The management announced the decision on Monday after an emergency meeting at the club's camp in Enugu. While speaking to newsmen, General Manager of the club, Davidson Ouni, stated that the situation in the team currently led to the measure so as to bring out the best from the players. To be recalled that the seven-time Nigeria League champions started the season on a slow pace that has seen them win only one league game and lost 5 of the 9 matches played in the MPFL 2019-2020 season, to be placed at the bottom of the 20-team log. And that's it on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Thanks for watching.